Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now before I do begin, I do want to say something to y'all. I have been thinking about bringing stuff in from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, along with the DLCs of not only New Vegas, but the other games. Now, I won't lie to you, I'm a little inexperienced when it does come to Fallout 3's DLCs, but for 4 and New Vegas, I do have a lot of experience with those. So, along with that, I am going to be doing stuff to make this universe seem a little bit more believable. As weird as that does sound to say for New Vegas. That includes using improvised weapons or things that aren't in the game, along with doing a few things in the game. Well, doing a few things in the story you can't do in the game. Now, I'm only going to be doing that to make it flow narratively and cohesively to me. That puts more ease on me and less restrictions on what I can do. Along with that, that does allow me to open the story a bit more and do a lot more in the universe to surprise you guys. That way, in case I'm heading to a location, you aren't always expecting what I'm going to do. Along with that, some of you guys are curious as to what Deku's perk points are spent into. Obviously, some of his skills you have seen already, though others you have not. Along with the fact that people don't know what level Deku is. I'm gonna keep that a bit of a secret, but I know exactly where he's at scaling wise. And I want to surprise you guys and make you guys guess where he's at. Now, with that being said, let's start with the review. In the last part, a number of things happened. We had Deku. Deku was at the 188. He got a holotape and bribed somebody with whiskey and caps to learn some information about Marcy. Marcy, she was terrorizing the area around Freeside. And Izuku, he went to go check this out. He ran into Veronica and learned about a vault on the strip, and went on his way. He's got a lot to do, but after arriving in Freeside, he was an odd man out. People already stare at him. People already look at him. And that isn't good. Eventually, someone's going to come around, and they're going to be looking for him. He's got the Legion and Enclave already on his tail. Both of them want him for different reasons. However, he isn't trying to make the best of his situation. Now then, let us currently cut to Izuku. He does go to climb out of bed, thinking about a few things and trying to get them sorted. Going to stand and walk over to a mirror before he has to turn on his sink and go to bring handfuls of water up, washing off his face. Before he does, gotta take the handfuls and drink them, before looking up at the mirror and turning the water off, staring at his horns on his head, which have grown larger. They used to be smaller, probably about an inch off of his head, but that was last month. Today, he does stare at them. Right now, they do stand at 2.5 inches tall, and the most visible aspect you see on him. He stands out like a sore goddamn thumb. People have seen him, but they don't ask questions. They think it's a gimmick. Though when they get closer, they realize it's not. He's not going to tell anyone anything. People have asked questions, but they've also been capable of leaving it alone, especially after hearing about his employment with the Van Graffs. And Izuku, he's going to sit back down in his bed and begin to record an audio log, talking about how today is day 42. Right now, he's got a lot to do. As he said in his logs before, he hasn't seen any more activity on Marcy. She came back around, what, 3 weeks ago? Though not much else has been known. The area has been safe. Well, safer than outside. Whenever he went to go learn and explore a bit more, he learned that Marcy was attacked by the automated Securitrons. So, he's not too sure she'll come back around. There's a possibility, but he fears that this time he may not be able to track her down. She's fast, and from what he can tell, she may be in a full mutated state. If he can get more information on this, it could be good. Along with that, he does wish to head to Vault 21. That place might have more information and parts for his Pip-Boy. His comms have been knocked out. Short wave might be possible, but long wave definitely not. The Enclave pulled some parts out of this thing, and he hasn't found anything to replace them. Though he needs to talk to Mr. House. The guy might have the parts. He's sure he can do something for him. Everybody needs something done. Though, that's another story. He's curious, though. As far as places for his allies to have headed to, he believes that if John got away, he might have gone to Jacobstown. It's a place full of super mutants. As for Chloe and Tommy, he doesn't really know. But, well, that's another story. Apparently, people have reported weird things. He wants to investigate, but other than that, he's not too sure where else to head to. Before he has a pause recording and stop it, since that log, it's short. He feels like he's just repeating information at this point. Stick around for too long, and he's going to become a part of this town. Before someone comes after him, and he's forced to move on. Leave things on good terms? I mean, the boss lady's paying him a decent amount of caps, though he does spend his money on a few things to supply himself, along with his room at the Wrangler and some whiskey occasionally. And that does go through Deku's mind. Before he's to head downstairs and out for work, walking over to the Silver Rush, getting dressed and getting ready. And he does work his shift. Him and Simon going a bit back and forth. Before someone, they do come walking up. And they do stare at Deku. For turning, Simon informing the person that they had to be searched. And that the rookie right here is going to be the one who will be doing the pat down. So, how about no sudden moves, and he turns over all of his weapons while he can. And the person does comply. Izuku going to stand behind them with his plasma rifle holstered, currently bringing his hands up and beginning to pat them down. Though the person, they do start talking and expressing. He's quite the oddity, isn't he? Sir, if you're going to ask about the horns, I suggest you don't. Deku bring his hands onto the man's shoulders. Before he does, pat around before going to his left arm. Gotta say, never seen someone like you. That's what they all say. Listen, just keep your comments to yourself. Otherwise, there's no telling what might happen. Is that a threat? No, sir, it isn't. Though, old people in the wasteland are a little fragile from time to time. My employer, she is quite aware of that, and I don't suggest you try to haggle the prices inside. They're set for a reason. Last guy who had to haggle, we ended up scrubbing off of the floor. Do you understand? Him bending down. And Izuku, he does bring his hands up. The person, somewhat jumping a bit, over Deku does grab them by their upper thigh and begin to pat them down. Before he has find a weapon and pull the knife directly out of the man's leg holster, holding it up and expressing that the man seems to have forgotten to turn in this weapon. It's a knife. What can it do in there? I'm assuming you have armed guards? We do, sir. But usually we like to try and keep our customers all safe. You can understand. Home field advantage? I can, yes. However, what about you? You're wearing a Pip-Boy. You a vault dweller? Deku staring at the person. Before Simon Deo's gonna rush them along, talking about it. Either head inside or leave. Right now he's got two choices. Before they fire plasma directly at him. So, which will it be? And the person, they do to head inside. Their weapons being taken and held until they leave. Though Izuku, he has a funny feeling about that person. He wants to trust what his body's telling him. Something smells fishy here. It's not right. I mean, the guy smells like rotten crap, but everyone on the wasteland does. So, what exactly is wrong with him? Intrigued, curious about him? People do show that, but his reaction was dull. Dull? Yeah, it was dull. Duller than this fucking combat knife. Has he ever sharpened it? God. This on his mind. And the man does go walking out and then gonna leave. Before he's gonna turn and stare directly at Deku. Before he does, gonna walk away. And Simon does catch Deku staring at the man. His eyes zeroing him down. And that it does give him one question. Exactly if the rookie is in control of himself. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. Sometimes I wonder what Gloria sees in you. She sees a lot. I bet. Still can't believe what you did to get hired. Trust me, I keep it to yourself, Simon. I'm just saying. I didn't know you could do that to a baton. Didn't think any guy was capable of it. I told you all before. Keep it on the down low, but I'm a mutant. That's all you got. That's all you get, Simon. Bring it up one more time, and it's gonna piss me off. You know how many bastards I catch fucking asking questions about me? Too goddamn many. Hell, sometimes I want to just tear out their fucking throats. Whoa, whoa there. You alright? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Just, little off today, that's all. Not quite myself. I can tell. So, any plans after work? You know, or is it just gonna be the occasional thing? I plan to stop by the Wrangler. You got a room there, don't you? Or do you sleep at the fort? Simon, I'm gonna quit, alright? Tell boss lady I'm going, and that's that. I gotta move on. I don't think she's gonna like that too much. Yeah, well, I don't care what she likes. Hell, she's probably gonna ask me to do something else, maybe. Someone needs something done. I just don't want to be sidetracked by her bullshit. Speaking awfully confident. Yeah, well, we both know it takes more than a little hot plasma to try and put me down. Ain't exactly normal. Yeah. Funny thing is, I heard a rumor going around. Have you heard about it yet? Heard what? Nothing much. Just something about some raider boss in the area. I think he might be out with the fiends. Heard he took out Motor Runner. Motor Runner? Yeah, not really too sure, but they say he's taking over. Though, idea of Motor Runner being dead, he might just be fucking with us. NCR sent a few bastards out after him, but even then, never took. Heard he even took out a damn ranger before. Really? How tough's a ranger? From what I understand, pretty fucking tough. Huh. Right. Okay. Deku trying to think. Before his shift does end hours later, and he does get to talk to the boss lady, telling her about his resignation. And Gloria, she's a little ashamed to lose such a hefty amount of muscle. I mean, this guy's got some moxie in him. Plus, wherever you find someone who can tie a security baton like a fucking knot, that is a lot of strength you want on your side. It's a shame, but she does allow Izuku to leave, even giving him a little bonus for all the work he's put in, along with asking if he'd like to do anything else for the Van Graff family. And Deku, he does decline for now, though he does express next time he comes around, if the offer is still on the table, he'd be willing to take it. Are you sure? Are you sure you wouldn't rather have more caps in your pocket? It could be helpful. Unless you're going to give me some information, I'd say no. What type? We have eyes and ears everywhere. I'm heading towards West Side. I've thought about a few things, though I'm not too sure about what's going on there. I heard this thing about the creature. You know the one. The loud screeching beast or whatever it is. It's been to West Side. It was there a few nights ago. I want to head there and see if I can track it down. Are you going after its bounty? I would not recommend that. NCR put out 5,000 on it. I know. Listen, I'm gonna go after it because I need to. And why do you need to do that? I don't need to explain myself to you. Now, if you have information on that creature, you could hand it over. And then we can make a bit of a deal. Gloria, going to Express. The fact of the matter is, she does know a few things. Though, if he's willing to be paid in information, then she's willing to give him it only after he does the work. It doesn't work like that. She might like him and trust him with a lot of things, though she doesn't trust him to honor the deal. They're not quite there yet. She's met many people in her life, some good, some not, some honorable, and some who only look out for themselves. And she's got a pretty keen eye on exactly where he might fall. So, either he gets the job done for her, or not. She wants him to deliver some supplies. If he can do that, then she can give him some information and he can be on his way. She'll even sweeten the deal. She'll pay him for the delivery. How about that? I can do that. Though where's it at? Deku, going to bring his Pip-Boy. And Gloria, she has to try and tell him exactly where it is. Currently, pointing at the location on the map. Talking about how the person should be close by here. She was told a few things. Their emissary is going to be alone. Along with that, they're going to be the only person around that spot. Anyone else, and they won't be there. So head off and talk to them about what's going on. Her handing him the supplies and going to wave Deku off. Talking about it. She'll pay him 200 caps. 300. 300 caps. I'm a pretty good asset, aren't I? Along with that, you want to keep me around? Keep me happy? I'd say 300. I see your point. Though, 300 caps is a bit steep. I'm aware. Now, since this delivery is a little important to you, and I know I am going to be dealing with a few people out there, what, past the gun runners? Let me ask you this. Who are these people? That's none of your concern. You see, I thought you'd say something like that. 500. 500 caps. Yep. You don't want people to know about this delivery. As far as I know, I'm just a courier. So, I'm fine with that. Listen. You like me, don't you? So, you're willing to pay my wages. One last job? For old time's sake. I deliver these weapons to this person. You get some business. You earn the money back overnight, maybe, or within the week. If I'm correct, you guys got a lot of power, a lot of influence, steady business and supplies. You can afford the investment. And along with that, you keep me happy. I move along, and if you ever need my help, you might get it. Especially because you've been oh so kind to me. Hmm, I can see these terms being acceptable. Gloria nodding her head. Before she had to tell Deku to head out and return only after it's done. And he does it to do so. 500 caps are his reward. That can buy him a lot of alcohol, along with the fact that it can buy him a lot of ammo. Though it also could buy him a room somewhere. There's still that place in Novak, but heading back there might be a bit of a bad idea. And that does pass through Izuku's mind. Currently, him heading out with the crate of supplies on his back, thinking about exactly where he's going to be heading to and dropping these things off. There's someone, they are following him, and this does mean quite a lot. Currently, Deku leaving Freeside and heading out to the delivery location. Before he does go to arrive, the person going to stand there and looking a little confused. Though Izuku does show up in the night, them staring at him before he has a turn and go to set down the backpack full of supplies, talking about it. All right, are they the emissary you heard about? Hmm? Are you the Van Grass emissary? I am. Good, good. That does work out quite well. You did come alone, correct? I did. Really? If I'm wrong, I do believe I do see people in the distance. You are people? No, I came alone. They might have tailed me. I see. Well then, I'll be taking my supplies and taking my leave. Deku turning, annoyed that they're not going to help. Though, he does get it. Not their business, not their problem. Look out for yourself. Rules of the wasteland to live by. If you don't trust them, then don't get drunk around them. Don't fall asleep around them. Don't leave your caps out around them. Every man for himself. I mean, it's the rule of survival. Strongest of the fittest. They are the only ones who can survive. The weak, they are going to be protected or destroyed. That is simple. And sadly, that has not changed. It's always been that way. And Izuku, he does a turn. Right now facing off against the four people who just don't stand there. Oh. No, I thought I bit my tongue for a second. I didn't. Anyways, now, Deku, he does go to stare at them, seeing that they all do have armor on. They're dressed a little differently, but their posture does suggest that they are organized, and they do respond to somebody here. Though Izuku, he is a sturdy man, currently him stepping forwards and with a rifle in tow, talking about it. Alright, now, what they're going to do is very, very simple. They need him to come with them. If he's going to comply, it'll make things a lot easier. Who are you? Don't worry about that, kid. Now, you going to comply or not? I'd say no. You sure you want to do that? Take a look around for a minute. We know you can see us. Him turning his head and staring at the four men. One of them are holding some sort of larger weapon. The barrel of it is bigger than any gun he's ever seen. And he's assuming that's some sort of explosive device. He's heard of missile launchers, but that's not it. He's heard of grenade rifles, grenade launchers as well. And that, it might be one of those. They weren't allowed in the vault, along with grenades. But still, they might be interesting to know about. Get a hold of? Okay, that's not good. Turning and seeing a man holding a 44 Magnum, along with another man holding up an assault rifle, an assault carbine. And this, it does make him concerned. Since the last man, he does hold a sniper rifle, telling Izuku about how he might want to be a little sensitive about what's going to happen. So, they're going to take him in, and he's going to respond accordingly. Otherwise, things might get a little bit messy. They were told it's advised to bring him in alive, not necessary. And Deku, he doesn't want to start this, bringing his hands down to his waist and expressing, okay, he does get it. They're all members of the Enclave, aren't they? It's none of your business, kid. Fine, fine. I understand. Though, I just gotta tell you guys one thing. Him going to bring his hand out, currently pulling something from his pocket, and they just stare at a syringe. Deku going to jab the syringe directly into his heart as he has a stare at them. And everyone, they do think he injected a stim pack. It's dark. They can't see too well. Though, whenever their eyes do to focus properly on this, they feel concerned. Especially watching as the syringe does a hit the ground and Deku does begin to emit some sounds they couldn't even begin to believe to hear. As right now, he doesn't move forwards, his glowing eyes the only thing they can really see. And they do go to begin a fire. Someone firing the grenade rifle directly at Deku. Him being struck as he does go to run directly towards them. And right now, they all go to open fire. Deku running at one and going to smash them directly into the gut and sending them flying. Them going to be sent airborne and landing 15 feet away. Before he's at turn, right now him slashing at the person with the assault rifle, slashing into their chest and grabbing them directly by the throat. Turning as the person with the grenade weapon does go to fire at him. Now, they do to strike the person in the back, and this is causes an explosion that does both destroy their friend's body and set Deku on fire. Now, Deku is stunned. Right now, the person with a revolver firing at him while Deku does bring up his left arm, covering his body and trying to defend himself. Feeling the bullets strike into his chest, along with one of them striking him directly in his arm, along with the second one. And this, it does cause him quite some alarm. Before he has to go rushing forwards and bringing his hand up, grabbing the person by the throat and bringing up his left hand. Before he does, go slash him into the chest and impale his claws into their body. Before he has to rip off their guts and go to throw them down, currently their body going into shock quickly. Now, the person with the grenade weapon does a turn, right at them staring at Deku. And they are quite alarmed. Before he has to move forwards towards them and stare at them. He's a few feet taller. He's 9 feet tall. Along with that, no, he's not human. He's not human. Deku moving forwards, and the person, they do a turn to run. Deku bringing his hand out and smashing them directly in the back. Before, with his larger hand, he has to smash them down onto the ball. Smash onto their body into the ground. Currently going to pin them and talk about it. He needs to know exactly where Vault 16 is. I don't know. Let me go. I, I can't feel my legs. I know. I broke your spine. Now, before I mount it as my headpiece, I need you to tell me where it is. Where is Vault 16? They go twisting his arm, and the person, they do admit a little bit more pain, feeling more parts of their back beginning to pop. And the person behind Deku, they do aim their weapon, currently bringing it up and going to fire at Deku. Him being hit in the back as he has a somewhat turn, screaming out in pain before turning to the person and going to stand, making his way towards them. And they do continuously fire at Deku, a bullet going to whiz past his head before one does to strike him directly in the chest again. And he has to move forwards. Currently, the third bullet striking him in the arm, where he has to feel a shooting pain inside of it, bringing his hand down and grabbing them directly by the head. Before he does, gonna bring his hand down and go to grab their weapon, ripping it from their grip and gonna drop it. Before going to express to the person, he's only gonna ask this once. There's two of them left alive. So, he's more important right now. There's a lot more he can break on him. So, they're going to make a bit of a deal. Currently, Deku using his broken arm to go and twist their arm. Currently, it gonna let out a pop and a snap. Before they just shout out in pain. Deku gonna turn and throw them to the ground. Before the person, they do just strike down and see their other friend, who is still injured, who is trying to, with his arms, crawl away. They're trying to get away as fast as possible. Their legs are dangling there. And over Izuku just gonna walk back over. He is gonna grab the person by the back of their neck. Before, with a swift twist, they do gonna fall limp, their eyes staring at their friend in the dark. Before Deku does a turn, currently gonna step forwards as his lumbering footsteps are the only thing they hear. Him bending down and letting out a bit of an unnatural human growl. And this does tell them one thing. They may not survive, and they better comply. Before, they are trying to tell Izuku all the information they can, all the information they know. And it isn't a lot. They were sent out originally to try and hunt down the large creature. That's all they know. Reports of it taking out people in West Side have increased, and they are trying to hunt it down. They happened upon him by accident. They didn't know he was here. If they did, they would have done more. They would have come better prepared. And Deku, after hearing that, he has to do one thing. Currently, him going to tear the person's throat from their body. And going to someone sit there. Rhino him beginning to shrink down as his tail, it does begin to recede, along with the fact that his body does shrink further and further. Him annoyed. His body hurts in the psychonus system. God, he tastes adrenaline. He still feels his heart in his ears. He needs more. No, he doesn't need more. He needs to calm down. He needs to stay focused. Their weapons. Take their weapons. Take. No. He needs to take their weapons and just move on. Move on. Just do that. If he doesn't, he's just gonna lose control, and he can't do that. He can't go feral like that. This goes through his mind, and Deku does sit there. His logical mind trying to fight against the drugs in his system, the psycho he took. It's not easy, but pulling himself back from it, it's definitely a little bit of a challenge. a mental set of gymnastics. Though Izuku, when he does come down, he does sit there among the bodies, taking any information he can find on their ammunition, caps, and their weapons, currently heading back towards Freeside, since he does want to turn in this quest and move on, though the information he did find was quite intriguing. There's been a little bit of a pattern for attacks. They spotted it. They're not too sure if it's a bit of a feeding schedule, but it just might be. I mean, the creature will go to west side, and then it will head east. So, that's all they know. And this is all Izuku just got. If the creature heads his direction, heads over Vegas, maybe you should stay there. Wait until he does see something. Though, having an eye on the sky all night, just as just himself, might not do him some good. He'll head to west side and wait for activity to pick up. And this is his current idea. Currently getting paid by Gloria when he does get a return, heading over to Mick and Ralph's and selling the weapons he does have. He does still have his trusty gun, though he doesn't sell the revolver. He does go to also sell off another weapon, keeping the assault rifle and keeping the sniper rifle. Now, Deku, he has to make his way towards west side. Right now he does have over 1,000 caps, but he does have a lot going through his mind. West side is his final destination. He'll head there and then he won't be alone. Someone to talk to. Someone from the vault. Someone who might know where home is. There is a staring at the information. Currently staring at the information, talking about the escaped subjects. Since there's a question mark next to his name, along with some ideas as to where the others might be. Though for Marcy, it does talk about her being their priority target. And this does mean quite a bit. He doesn't feel remorse. All he knows is it's survival. They lost the game of survival. And right now, he needs to find his friend. Find his team. And Izuku, he has a turn on his radio, heading towards west side. A lot passing through his mind. Somewhat singing to the song he has heard a few times. And it does help him pass the time. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you all in the next part.